Alright, starting another traditional Zendikar Rising draft. If my opponents, or I guess podmates, want to ready up. Alright, there we go. Let's see. What are we getting here? Alright, so this does seem like a pretty great pack. Got a Untitled Chapter. So that would be Party. Also got Fearless Fledgling, a great landfall care about payoff. We also got Deadly Alliance, Bubble Snare, Pack Beast. Whew, so Nimble Trap Finder is okay, but it really does force you to get a full party, otherwise it's just kind of a 2-1 unblockable. Deadly Alliance is solid removal, but Fearless Fledgling is also pretty great. Though Deadly Alliance is tough to pass. I think we're going to do it. Alright, so we just passed that Pathfinder. We have that Fledgling. Call in the Ambush I think is pretty good, and it would kind of tie into the blue, rather the white-green landfall. There's also an Amara Mystic and the Lull Mage's Domination. So I think we go with the Call in the Ambush here to stay somewhat open. So that's going to take the Domination to really tie me into being in blue. And here we have a couple of interesting picks. There is a Canyon Jerboa, so it is kind of going towards the landfall style deck. There's also Sign of the Swarm and the Pathway for black-white, Bright Clan Pathway. I think here we take Canyon Jerboa. Oh, the Jerboa might wheel. Though I think trying to just snag up the landfall payoffs, or things that at least care about landfall, is probably a good plan. But they all get taken. And speaking of landfall payoffs, Canopy Baloth looks promising. Our decent number of blue cards still passing around. We have Seafloor Stalker and Geyser Mage. Now I'm pretty sure this is the second Stomper I've passed. I would want to get one of those at least. Help keep the landfall triggers going. But I think for now we're going to take the Baloth. Alright, so here we have another landfall care about. There's also Iridescent Horn Beetle, which I have loved pretty much every time I've played it, which is granted only in one draft so far, but it was great in black-white or black-green counters. I do have one creature here that makes counters, but if I were able to pick up another Scythe Cat, that would be a way to trigger this and keep making creatures, which would help me go wide. So I think just because this is a common and this has potentially big upsides, I think we're going to go with the Horn Beetle. Okay, so here there isn't anything all that great, but the Shadow Cat I do like. Shadow Cat and Iridescent Horn Beetle is a pretty nuts combo. Just sacrificing the beetles, drawing cards, and then because it puts those counters on itself, when it sacrifices creatures you get that many beetles back. So it is a pretty great engine. And the fact that this is being passed still makes me think that maybe green-black counters is open, and that could be a possible way forward. Alright, though, nothing black is enticing here. So there's base camp, but seems like this really isn't a deck that goes for party, so it's not going to be all that great. So we do have a Banneret here. Could be another mana sink. or second Baloth. I think we're going to want to go with a 1-drop here, so it could overrun by a faster deck. All right, and there is the black, or God, gotta get with these colors. There's the green-white uncommon there for landfall. I think we do want to take this over the Felidar. There's still a chance we get the 3-drop that cares about landfall, the 2-1 green creature, so we're going to go with the Root Grazer here. Alright, so Vastwood Fortification, Pack Beast, Dauntless Survivor. Ooh, tough. Both Pack Beast and Survivor will be good, but I think we're going to go for the Fortification here. Just another combat trick. Okay, so we get the Stomper here. I want one of those to wheel. Reclaim the Wastes could be exactly what I want here. Another way to get creatures. Ensure I hit my landfall triggers. Not sure I want to play 2 Stompers. And the thing with this as well, the Reclaim the Wastes, I can use it maybe if I want to do end up wanting to splash for the Shadowcat. I can use that there. Alright, so we have some more great cards here. Roost of Drakes, that's just a nuts card. Shatterskull Smashing, always tempting, at least at this point, to want to rare draft it. But then we have 2 removal spells, and we have a Veteran Adventurer. So again, as I was saying, this pack is stacked. I don't have much removal though, so I think I should probably go for one of those. I do seem to have big creatures and creatures that do tend to get bigger just from me playing lands, so I think Rabid Bite is probably the way to go here. Okay. So I think Journey to Oblivion here seems better than the Skyclave Cleric or the Dauntless Survivor. Not wanting to be in blue right now, so Little Mage's Familiar is going to be great. And so the cards aren't really things I care about, so we'll get Journey to Oblivion. Some of that removal I was craving earlier. Okay, and speaking of removal, Mary's Binding, sure. Okay, so we have another Shadowcat. Also have a Tazim Raptor. Shall recur my lands. I think we take the Raptor here. Don't want too many 4-drops. So I could take the Skeleton if I do want to splash black. Another creature that recurs. And I do do at least have one way to continuously put counters on creatures, and then also I can sack them to the Shadow Cat. So this would consistently be 2, so it would be a 4/5. That's going to go with a counter theme. This would be a 4 flyer. We'll go with a flyer. Okay, second Vastwood Fortification. Also Mrs. Zendikar. And the Nectar Pot. And Disenchant. So did we take the fortification here? Alright. Prowling Felidar, just what we want to be doing. More landfall payoffs. Vanquish the weak here. So I have a decent number of 3-drops. I probably don't want Celebrant. I think we take, though Smite the Monstrous could be good in case we face a big deck. Venture awaits. Okay, interesting. So there's a Crawling Barrens, Iridescent Hornbeetle. Also have a Rabid Bite. How many creatures do I have right now? 13. So I am a little light on creatures. I think we go with the Hornbeetle just because I'm already probably going to be pushing it with my mana base as it is. So I want to be too greedy there. Scale the height seems okay. Okay, so now we have Sejur's Shelter, Journey to Oblivion. I think we take the Shelter here because I have so many ways to return that to my hand. That just could be invaluable. Okay, so a few cards to consider here. Shepherd of Heroes, Vanquish the Weak, Rapid Bite. We take Shepherd of Heroes here. You have something to at least slow down flying decks. Dauntless Survivor seems okay. Another 2-drop. Okay. Another Prowling Felidar. Sounds good to me. Take the Kite Sail, I guess. More things to help with flyers. Same for Snarecaster. Guess I'll take a Death Touch. Just rare draft that. Two. So I have 4 dual faced. And if I want to say that each one of those is worth half of a land, which I think is a fair, maybe even conservative counting, I should cut 2 more cards. So maybe some of these 3-drops here. The Protector, not really doing much. I don't really care about Party, so not going to be all that impactful. And 1 more. Venture awaits, I guess. So I do have a lot of 5-drops though. Maybe I should cut one of those. Maybe the Shepherd. Bring it in only against flying opponents. Then I could put back in an Adventure Awaits. Is that really a good plan? I mean, a lot of the creatures I care about are, or a lot of the cards I care about in this deck are creatures. So being able to pick which one I get of the top 5 isn't terrible. Might not be fast enough, or rather might be too slow against my competition, but we'll see. Alright, starting our game 1 of this Zendikar Rising traditional draft, being on the draw. See what we get here. Okay, a couple of landfall Carabouts, couple of, or I guess, and a landfall enabler in the Reek Razor. That does seem keepable here. Okay, and a Jerboa. Okay, facing rogues it seems, so we'll start with our Reek Razor. Probably don't want to block because they could have some kind of a flash rogue. They could have the 3 mana 2/1 flyer flash one, or a duelist or something, or they could just have a second one. Sure. So we have say no blocks, and we play a Canyon Jerboa. Pass the turn. So I did miss a land drop. No blocks. Okay, they killed the Jerboa. Sure. And yeah, playing another land would only increase it by 1. May as well. Okay, we'll play the Felidar. Play a swamp. Rabid Bite is a sorcery, so we'll attack. My Root Grazer. And it's Vigilance, so there's no reason not to. Tap it to put a basic land card onto the battlefield. Rapid Bite. Have it deal damage there, it doesn't fight it, otherwise that would be a dumb move. So it gets rid of Death Touch on the Skulker. Okay, they just destroy it, sure. Kick the skeleton. Attack with the Root Grazer. Can bounce a land to my hand end of turn. So they have a decent amount of removal. Some scary rogues. And a Relic Golem. Okay. So we can attack with a Moss Pit and the Root Grazer, because we do have to start whittling them down. And I do want Canopy Bailiff to be able to be unobstructed. Okay, I take that trade, sure. Then we'll play my Canopy Bailiff and play Adventurer Waits, I suppose. Try to find another creature. And we do, we'll take the Horn Beetle. End the turn. Can bounce the swamp again next turn. Give Bailoff another 2/2. Keep the aggro going. So I'm at 5 cards in my graveyard. They can mill me for 2. Put me at 7 cards in my graveyard. So I am getting close to Relic Golem turning on, which is a little scary. But I do have my Canopy Bailiff, and they are doing that as a divination at Field Research, just drawing 2 and not kicking it. So they're digging. Okay, they play a swamp. So 3 lands now. 2 black, 1 blue. Turn a swamp to my hand. So they have something they can do, although they could just be having the mana activation up. Okay. Play a swamp. Like this turn, we just attack with both. Now we can reclaim the wastes. Sure, they mill me too. Okay. Block the Baloth. Snow can play the Iridescent Hornbeetle. Next turn we can reclaim the Wastes to get 2 triggers for Baloth, so they'll have to, again, assuming they even get something into my graveyard, they'd have to, or they'd want to block with their Relic Golem. They do have 3 cards though, so it's unclear what their best option is. They've had a lot of removal so far, so we'll see. Wouldn't be surprised if they had a kill spell, which would be bad because it would also turn on Relic Golem. Yep, here we go, kill spell. That enables Relic Golem. No blocks. Go to 6, that's not good. So we need some kind of counter. The Fledgling would be great right now. Or the other Felidar I have. Alright. Speaking of, go Fledgling, play a Swamp. Do I want to put Mossplate Skeleton on top? I think we decline for now because I'm probably going to be using Reclaim the Wastes. So then we go Reclaim the Wastes for 2. So we attack for 5. Go to damage. And can put a land onto the battlefield to make more tokens. And we'll now put Mousepet Skeleton on top. When that gets kicked, that'll make even more tokens with the Hornbeetle. So things are looking good. As long as they don't kill Fearless Fledgling, this should give me a victory next turn. So can landfall this turn. Kick the Moss Skeleton. Turn a Swamp to my hand. Oh, I guess that was a bad move. I forgot I played that land this turn. Got 1 card left in hand. They're going to put me to 1, but they'd be getting 3 life back if they attack with their Gloom Hunter. They'd be at 10 life. Right now, I'm going to have 4 more Beetles. So I'll have 6, 11, 5, 8. So I think we don't attack here. Well, I guess I am going to overwhelm them next turn anyway. I may as well try to get more damage in. It's not like I'm going to have any Dearth blockers, and it's not going to be able to block on my turn anyway. So if they have a pump spell or something, but that seems unlikely in a black-blue deck. They might have that card that makes you discard 2 cards and then mill 2 and lose life. They might have that. But okay, they're just sending the Gloom Hunter at me. Zoth, the deal 4, gain 4 would kill me, that double-faced card. But otherwise, they're going to be in a tough boat, I should think. Okay. What are they going to kick or get rid of? Fledgling. Okay. Okay. Well, that does open things up, huh? Alright, so we play... No, we don't play the Swamp first. Play the Fledgling first. So we have the ambush. What's the best target? If I have the skeleton fight the Geyser Mage, they have 3 blockers. They block 1, 2, 3. They still take 6 damage, so I think we get there. Yeah, they're all tapped out. None of these have lifelink. Kill a Geyser Mage. And we'll swing out. That should be game. They block 3, they take 6, and they die. Whew. Down to the turn. That was a close one. Alright, so on to game 2. I know they have some strong stuff. They had that enchantment, Rooster Drakes. I wouldn't mind putting in a Shepherd of Heroes to help me deal with some of those flyers. So this is one way I can deal with their Roost of Drakes, the Journey to Oblivion. But I think we'll try swapping in a Shepherd of Heroes. At least try to help survive a little longer. And I guess we'll just get rid of that and play a reach creature. I'll try to just live through their flyers, their drakes, their gloom hunters just a little longer. So not the most exciting 3-drop, but I think it could be a valuable one here. Alright, 1 land, gonna mulligan that. Sadly, because we do have a lot of great stuff in there. But this looks better. Keep 6. I guess we'll put back an Adventure Awaits. Start with a Reclaim the Waste. Or not. Play that to hide that I have spells, things to do. Okay, they played their Skulker. Sure, we'll play a Root Grazer. Pass the turn. They don't want to attack it. Interesting. fast with Thicket. Go to combat. We'll attack for 2. Interesting. Okay, so they trade. I guess I should have put that into play, huh? Whoops. Yeah, definitely misplay. Alright, we'll play a swamp and we'll just reclaim the wastes. I have 4 cards in hand, 4 mana open. Just roguing it up. So I have 4 cards in my graveyard. So this is 4 cards away from becoming a 4/3, rather a 5/3. They have Seafloor Stalker, they can activate for 4, but yep, they just kill my Horn Beetle. They attack for 6. Okay. So if I Nahiri's Binding this turn, I go to 4. Next turn I Iridescent Horn Beetle and Dauntless Survivor. I got a Zareth. Alright, we'll scoop it up. Okay. I'll be on the play this time. Okay, start. Some landfall payoffs. A Dauntless Survivor, so 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they play their Skulker. We go to combat, swing for 2. They don't want to trade, so we'll put my Jerboa. Next turn we play Prowling Felidar, attack for 4. Or 5 rather. So they have 3 mana open. They played their Black Bloom Rogue as a land, so they must need black sources. And they play the Relic Golem. We don't block. Alright, so we play a forest. Swing for 5, and they can't block. Play my Felidar. Next turn we can scale the heights, and if we're lucky, also Rabid Bite or Adventure Awaits. So they could play the 5-mana black spell to destroy a creature. They play Black Bloom Rogue instead, giving their other rogue Death Touch. Alright, so we get a land. We play it. We can play Scale the Heights. There's no blue 1-mana spells I'm concerned about. Put the counter on the Jerboa. I can play an extra land this turn. So we will. We'll Rabid Bite. Dauntless Survivor onto their rogue. And we'll swing for a ton. 14 to be specific, so lethal. They have to block something. Okay, I go to 5. Only have 2 cards in my graveyard, so Relic Golem is still 6 cards away from killing me, or at least from being able to block or attack or anything like that, doing any sort of damage. They have 4 mana, and they have 8 power, and they concede. So there we go. That is how you do it with a +1/+1 counter Abzan style landfall deck. Alright, starting round 2 here of the Zendikar Rising traditional draft with the Abzan landfall counters deck crafted earlier. So I'm missing white, which is awkward. Chances of me getting a light source, or a white source rather, are only 15%. I guess we try keeping. Wait, think I suppose. Do it Adventure Awaits, and down the line, Root Grazer at some point. So we'll play my Swamp, play Adventure Awaits, get a Survivor, and oh no. Put a counter on himself. They have something they can do. Maybe a buff. Okay, Nahiri's Binding. Not what I want to see right now. Play Canopy Bailoff. Or actually, we'll attack first. I'm fine with losing my Survivor. Play the Bailoff. They say good game. Okay. Alright, so we are still inundated with white cards. Okay, so they trade. Sure, 2 for winning themselves. So I would love to get a Plains, play Iridescent Horn Beetle. We'll have no such luck. Guess we'll continue to just try to whittle them down. Okay, they trade. Well, we'll play it as a land. Be sad about it. But it will let me start casting down horn beetles. My opponent still seems to be on 3 lands, so could be worse. I think I have to discard a card. Ouch. That's pretty brutal in a deck like that. So we'll play a horn beetle, not play fortification as a land. Next turn I can play another horn beetle, and then start doing fun horn beetle things. They did have a synchronized spellcraft, and they discarded that. So that is worrying. Okay, I'll play another horn beetle. Pass the turn. Just need that white mana. Okay, Archpriest of Iona. All right. So we can Shadowcat here. Go to combat attack with both. Vast with one of them if they double block. Worst case, I draw a card. Okay, 2 for 1 them. I deal damage and make 2 insects. It seems good. They concede. So spending 5 white cards that I couldn't cast. You're able to get there. So it seems like my opponent is on some kind of a white-red. I don't know about aggro, but white-red's something. So we can try playing a Shepherd of Heroes just to last a little longer. Get some life back. You know, I might be able to get 2. 2 creatures in the party, but a lot of my creatures aren't of the proper types. So maybe that isn't the best choice. But I think the extra toughness will be good. Would help me stabilize. And in doing so, we can also swap out or swap in Snarecaster. Again, decent blocker, could help survive a little longer. Help me get to those long late game payoffs that we got going on, all those landfall triggers. Okay, so this seems keepable. Start with a fortification into Mospit Skeleton. Late game, we have a couple of these horn beetles still, so that looks good. Okay, they play an Intimidator. Sure, we'll play my Skeleton. Can Rapid Bite it next turn if we need to. Or we can just trade if they don't want to pay the mana. Or maybe they'll just kill it. Okay, buff it, and maybe have it can't block. Sure. Make it a coward. Take 4. That's your turn. Sounds good to me. Can just attack first. Rabid Bite. Next turn I have my Felidar. And then Horn Beetles will start activating after that, so in 2 turns. They have a Bugcatcher. Sure, so I mean, I guess since I have the late game, no need to force it, and I kind of want Mospit in my graveyard. So we'll just play the Felidar, pass the turn. And I have a Kazandu Stomper as well, so I can return this fortification so I can start getting this back. But they don't have a kill spell. It seems like they do have something to make it invulnerable or indestructible. I think we don't block here. No real need to. Left total isn't that imperiled. So we'll play a forest. Get a counter. Attack for 3. Play the Horn Beetle. Get a 1/1 counter, or 1/1 insect. And we can do that again next turn. Only to get 2 insects. This gets another counter, and then we can start trying to get Moss Skeleton into the graveyard. So I think we're in a good spot right now, fortunately. And my opponent seems to, again, have missed land drops, only on 3 mana. They have a Scavenger Blade. They're going to attach to their Bugcatcher. I'd happily trade Bugcatcher for my Skeleton. Maybe they'll buff. Nope, they don't. They just let their Bugcatcher die. Sure. And we'll play a Swamp. We'll put that on top. We'll go to combat. Swing with both. Take the damage. Play my other Horn Beetle. Yeah, it's kind of brutal here. They're just getting overwhelmed with value. I also have a Journey to Oblivion. Almost said O-Ring, but basically O-Ring. Expensive in this case because I don't have many party creatures, but it'll do the job, clearing any feeble resistance they're able to muster. Okay, can't attack or block, sure, but it's still going to get the benefits from all my landfall triggers, provided I would have gotten any, but this will be it, assuming they don't have a... Okay, and they don't, so that is the game. So 2-0 against that Boros aggro deck. Alright, Zergon. Get into round 3 of that Zendikar Rising draft. Be on the play this time, sure. So we'll keep 7. I suppose we'll start with the Sajiri Shelter. Go to Dauntless Survivor. Get Vanquish the Weak next turn. Opponent played a Mountain. Now they play a Forest. So we'll see what they get into. Might be Landfall or something. Seems like they're thinking about killing my Survivor. They do. They kill it brutally. Now we'll just play a Swamp and hope I stop drawing lands now. Okay, they play an Ambusher. Probably fine. I'll play a Plains, pass the turn. Take 1, sure. Get to play a Scorch Rider. Back to my turn. I guess you're... Play a Shadow Cat, pass the turn. Just get some board presence. To try to Royal Eruption, I can give it a counter. Okay, that's not going to do it though. Go to 13. Alright, we can play a Rook Razor, pass the turn. Get back to Sajiri Glacier next time. so we don't block. Hellion, okay. We'll just vanquish their ambusher now. So I could block here, return the Glacier to my hand, give protection and also a +1/+1 counter to Grazer. And then next turn, Journey to Oblivion. Down to 3 either way, so still dangerous and probably too risky. I guess we'll just turn to Oblivion now. Attack for 2. Play a land, I guess, pass the turn. So I probably should have left another white up. So I could have, if I had wanted to, returned Glacier. Okay, so they deal 3 damage, doesn't do anything. And also still trade. Which I think tough question. I guess we'll block. I guess it's only basic land. Oh well, so couldn't have even done the trick I'd wanted to do, so that's okay. Turn to forest. Okay, Expedition Champion. Not what we need. Probably dead now. So we turn off the Spitfire, but if they draw land, I'm dead. All right, well, there we go. All right. So do some swaps here. So put a Raptor for a Shepherd. Not sure if I want to put in Subtle Strike. We'll still be on the play this time. You'll keep 7. Try to go Mossfit Skeleton. Try to preserve the Vastwood Fortification for later down the road. So they play land, sure. Ping Hellhound to 2/3, no blocks. Okay. Go over there. So we can play a plains, attack with the skeleton. They don't block, sure, we'll play the Jerboa. Okay, yep. We won't block, so go to 15. Do have this Shepherd of Heroes though still, and Reclaim the Waste, so I should be able to get Iridescent Hornbeetle down soon. Okay, they Tormenting Voice, discarding a Scorch Rider. Alright, so here we can Reclaim the Waste, getting another forest. We'll play that, buff my creatures, attack for 5, play the Sentinel. Pass the turn. Can also Vastwood Fortification onto the Sentinel next turn if need be. Looks like they're not going to attack here, and they don't. So 2 dual lands to pick between. I think we're going to put down the Glacier. We won't attack. I'll hold the attacks back. So take 1 damage. Buff their Hellhound by playing that additional land. Still have 4 cards in their hand. Attack for 3. See no blocks. Alright. So creatures my control get buffed. Play a Hornbeetle. Can attack with the skeleton. Four damage to it. Sure. Here we can put the counter on Iridescent Hornbeetle. Make another creature to block. Next turn I can Mospit Skeleton. Get 3 more. Alright, so no creatures in my party. I go to 10 by playing my Shepherd of Heroes. If I play a land, the Jerboa is going to buff everything, making these 4 2/2s. They do have a 3. They have 4 creatures that could block those basically for free, so For now, we'll hold on to the land. Just play Shepherd of Heroes. Gaining some life. They're thinking if they have something they can do. I think here we send forward the Moss Pit Skeleton. Start whittling down their board at least. So do we take down the buff plant or the Lagak? I think we take down the buff plant. Maybe they have a combat trick. Nope. Okay. Sure. End the turn. They kill my angel. They kick that. Sure. He's looking grim now. Not over yet. All right. They have another. All right, that's going to be it. So we had 2-1. Strong start, but this deck had so much removal. Cast like 3 or 4 spells right there, just in that last game. Well, hope you enjoyed the adventure, and see you next time.